Good day, everyone. I am Paul Tavera. My friends call me PJ or Pubs, and I am a self-made photographer and cinematographer. Since we will be discussing the space of photography here, in my humble beginnings, before I have used and operated a camera, I was first molded as a young artist, creating fine arts such as drawings, sculptures, and paintings. During our younger years, with my brothers and sister, my parents always sends us to a summer camp yearly workshop at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. From there, we have honed and developed our young artistic talent. My dad, who passed away, was working in an international film industry which was produced here in the Philippines during the late 1970s up until the early 1980s. He was a hobbyist photographer during the era of film. Let me show you. Like this one. I still have one roll of film. This is a YKL 100 ASA 24 shots. Hence, I was influenced to a different art form, a different medium. Learning to use the SLR cameras, I was magically transformed and geared up by capturing various images using film. Now, this is what I call the art of photography. Eventually, my parents bought me my first ever camera on my 7th birthday. Actually, I still have it. It's the Kodak Ector 1 series. It's an Instamatic camera where you insert a film. I think it's not made anymore because it's too old. It's a Instamatic camera where you insert the film. You just point and shoot. Using this camera, this is where I developed my initial skill set of photography. Since this camera is an Instamatic one, meaning in our terms right now, automatic, I have learned how to frame up my subjects and eventually find more discoverings on how to frame up my subjects within the environment. And from there, I have leveled up my experience and skill set in photography. Quick tip: learn how to frame your subjects within the given environment. During my younger years, every time on a weekend, we always go on a family outing where my dad taught me how to use his SLR camera. Now, I still have it right here. This is the Nikon F series. And again, we are using this 135 film camera roll. Ayan. Unfortunately, this camera right now is broken and its shutter mechanism is not working anymore. It can be fixed, but this is only a memorabilia for me now. So, using my dad's camera during that time with the film that is given to me, I have learned how to expose properly. And as they say, practice makes it perfect. There are 3 basic settings that we need to learn and understand in using our SLR or DSLR cameras. But wait, tatanungin nyo, ano po ba yung SLR? SLR stands for Single Lens Reflex. No? It's a mechanism that is inside your camera that flips a mirror and exposes your film, or may I say, pag sa digital, ang ating sensor to expose and capture the photo. So, digital single lens reflex camera. Pero nowadays, meron na po tayong tinatawag na mirrorless camera. Okay, there are 3 important settings that we need to learn and know about in order for us to get the proper exposure. These settings are named the aperture, the ISO, and the shutter speed. So quick information on these 3 settings. The aperture is basically the opening of your lens. Okay? The ISO is the sensitivity of your sensor or film. Okay? And the shutter speed is how fast the shutter curtain or the shutter angle when your camera is closing and opening to get the photo. Now, this is another level or another topic that we can discuss on another talk. So, talking about aperture, what's the difference between the big opening and the small opening? Okay. Every time that you have a big opening of your lens, your subject will be focused and your background will be blurred. If you have a small opening of your lens, you have a perfectly sharp subject and a sharp background. Ganun po yun. For us to know more about the aperture, ISO, and shutter speed, this will fall under another talk or topic since we need to dive in to the camera system of your DSLR. We need to be hands-on and show you how this works. So if hopefully in future time, we can do some workshop on this matter. Now, there's a simple way where you can get your photos quickly. That is the automatic way. When you see the green camera on your dial from your DSLR, just set that up and you point and shoot. When you set that, every time you click, you will get the right exposure per se. But then again, you will have no creative freedom on how you take your images. From my childhood up until my college days, my photography was on and off. When I started working, basically my photography was put on hold until such time I was destined to work in Afghanistan in a top telecommunications company, and I was heading the sales and marketing division over there. I find again the spark and passion to go back to my photography since I saw my good friend who was also working abroad in Oman. I was amazed and in awe of his photographs in Oman, with the opportunity of me being in the most unsettled and risky country that anyone could ever visit or stay. I saved up to buy my first DSLR camera, which is the Canon 7D and a 50mm lens, which I have sold and upgraded to a professional body, which is the Canon 5D Mark III. Currently, right now, there are more newer and updated cameras in the market. So from the beauty of photography, my photography skill levels and passion grew from here. For you to be inspired in the art of photography, please let me read and give you some of my tips and tricks with regards to getting nice photos. Always take 2 photos. What do I mean by 2 photos? Taking 2 photos. Take a photo first on a portrait mode. Click. And do not forget to take a photo again on a landscape mode. Click. Okay. This helps you create 2 variants of photos, and sometimes one or the other is much more better Subject is your key. That's number one. Know your subject very, very well. No? But always be aware of your surroundings by fitting them in your environment. Yan, very, very important, ano? Know your subject and know your environment so that when you capture your photos, it will be picture perfect. Ayan. Okay, be aware of the light and shadow. Important thing rin yan. Without light, there's no photo. Without shadow, there is no character in your photo. So, that's another tip. No? Know the time of day. Know the time of day when you're taking pictures, especially when if it's noontime, no, the sun is very, very harsh. It's best that you take your photos on shaded areas. And again, when taking photos on noontime and shaded areas, make sure that you are framing your subject in correlation with the environment. So, perfect picture ka pa rin. Worst scenario, if you are in a very lit area, no, like the sun is very high and your subject is too dark or with shadow, make sure that you use flash or light your subject up. That is important. Unless otherwise, if you have this creative idea of creating a silhouette photo, an artistic one, by all means do that. Another tip, always make it a practice to take many photos. Here's another tip that I can give to you, my personal tip, is to capture that emotion. No? Capture the emotion of people, capture the emotion of a thing within the environment, capture the emotion of let's say a weather, a landscape. Find that emotion, you know. When you see something, and here's a best tip that I can give to you. When you see something beautiful, when you see something extraordinary, stop, pause, and take a photo of it. Photo or video, it doesn't matter. Stop what you're doing, take a pause, and take that photo. And then you will feel, no? You will feel that energy flowing in you. You will feel that energy of clarity, of being aware on what is happening around you in your life, you know. That's one key thing that I do when I see like a beautiful sunset while I am driving. I stop, I pull over, I stop, go down and shoot that beautiful sunset. If I see, for example, let's say a daughter and mother, you know, having this great time with a beautiful moment, with a beautiful environment, I stop and take that photo. Some energy inside me comes in, you know, and it fills me with, you know, joy, happiness, you know, fulfillment in life. There are many other tips and tricks that I can teach you, but you know, we are only in a limited time, and it's a vast subject. Photography is a vast subject matter to talk about. No, it's not only a one sit down, but it's, you know, more of an experience. It's more of a actual doing. And in totality, doing photography, always remember and tell yourself, always have fun. As my parting words, I always tell to my children and young kids alike, life is full and never too short if you know what you want to do. Spark up that passion. Whatever it is, may it be photography or TikTok. If you know that you are happy of what you're doing, regardless if it is challenging, if you have critics, if it's expensive, or if it is it has learning curves. Push for it. Go for it. Do it. Learn it. Live it. That is how we progress. Continue with it. Time and again, you are creating your own world, which we call life. Thank you for having me from today's talk. I appreciate you all for watching and listening to my crazy story. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. Live your passion as I still continue to pursue my passion and dreams in photography and cinematography. Again, thank you very much for having me. Stay passionate, stay safe, stay healthy. Let me also grab this opportunity to do my shameless plug. Please follow me to my social media platform. For YouTube, it's PJ Tavera. For YouTube, it's PJ Tavera channel. Also, you can catch me at Instagram at pabz.studio. I do live stream at Live It. You can download the Live It app and you can find me at pabz.studio.